All right, so in this video, we are going to be talking about everything Megumi Fushiguro in complete domain. All right, he is a very good unit. Definitely, I'd say right now the best support because he just works even as a DPS. Amazing unit to use. All right, so let's explain all of his skills. But to do that, we will be using the wiki. Shout out to the wiki again, link down below, because it's just better. Okay, it's just better to use. Not even gonna lie. Now, starting off, we'll start with the characteristic. But remember, he has decent HP, not crazy HP, very high alt gauge requirement. It's almost double Gojo's, okay? Then he has pretty equal Taijutsu Jujutsu, okay? So if his own curse energy is 15 or below, he fills some alt gauge. Now, what's funny about that is the dupe 2 kind of hurts him, which I just got him to dupe 2, the wrong button. The reason why is because it gives 10 initial curse energy, which means it's harder to actually build up the alt, okay? And his alt is very important. So we're going to start with the alt because of that. Now, basically, it's doing 1600% ranged Jujutsu, okay? And 1600, I don't know why I even do that. I don't know. I tried to duplicate it, but that didn't work. So 1600 is very good, all right? We could check, like, even Gojo's. Even if it is AoE, it is a nuke for a lot of people, and it does 1000%. Obviously, he has damage multipliers, but still. 1600 is very nice, okay? And it's Jujutsu, love to see it. Now he stuns, and then he expands domain. Now what does this do? He decreases all enemies' damage by 35%, so you're getting some damage reduction. He increases the damage they take by 45, all enemies. He gives attack immunity. 4 turns where he's like Gojo, takes no damage besides from, well, that's it. Insane ability, right? Then he decreases own skills, cursed energy cost, goes from 25 to 20, 15 to 10. So yeah, he can't take damage, increases the damage they take, decreases the damage they do, and makes it easier to use your skills. It's broken, okay? Very good ult, very high damage you'll see, especially for a support. Like, he's using this ult, doing good damage, but then supporting. Like, it's crazy, right? It is crazy. Now, he does change his abilities, right? So remember, he can't take damage, then it adds a stun here, and then it also makes it so that it increases the enemy's Taijutsu by 20 up to 60 now, okay? Which for Toji, remember, this could be pretty good, but I don't think it's that crazy, but it can be nice with the stun, okay? Deals extra damage, as you can see. This goes from 255 to 450 and so on, right? Then the skill 2 is an AoE. So for grinding, guys, I mean, this is good. This is definitely good. And it increases the amount in total, which is great. And it makes it 10 cursed energy in the domain. And then the skill 1 becomes like a godly attack. Guys. Whew, it does more damage. And then it increases the selected enemy's damage received by 99.3% for 3 turns. Guys, you could stack this too. It's crazy. Like, this ability while you're in the domain, just... it's insane. It really is. Now, I want to say, we do agree his art is like #1, right? It's really good. I find it to be really good. Look at my goated frogs too. So yeah, let's look at the skill order now. And what order should you be enhancing the skills? So #1 should be the ultimate, okay? It does the most amount of damage. You want to increase it for that big damage multiplier, and for sure, it's just like that. Now, #2, for the reasons we talked about, is going to be this one, because it increases the amount of damage you increase it by. So 93.9 to 96.6, which we are actually going to get that, because I do want to, get him a bit higher with that. Now, after that, you could do whichever you want. Personally, I'd say the AoE could be better for grinding if you want him for grinding, but if not, the skill 3 will be doing more damage increase, so consider that too. But both of them kind of are like in equal grounds. I do the alt and then the skill 1, and then afterwards, it's whatever you rather. AoE or single target, really no importance. You don't even need to get them that high, in my opinion, because for the most time, you're either alting or skill 1. But I've used AoE more, but that's more of a me thing. So keep that in mind. For sure, you have the stun on this. You have the stun on this one in the domain. So it can definitely be good. No question about it, okay? So now let's check recollection bits, all right? We got a good amount, okay? So #1 is his, all right? His is very good, and it's going to be a nice support ability, especially if you have other DPS. If you have other DPS, this one's great, because it gives everyone a 25% damage increase for 3 turns starting from the 4th turn, which is going to end when Gojo leaves, so keep that in mind. Nice 25%, should be when Gojo has his ult, but then when he uses this, he gets 200 alt gauge, and he gets 250 at dupe 3, okay? So I'm considering putting in a dupe, because I have so many, and I really do want it. So we'll see. And then it gives him a heal, which is pretty good. The heal, considering he doesn't take damage for 4 turns after ult, is good too, right? Consider that too. Like, it's going to be very hard to kill the boy. Very hard. Very, very hard. Now, besides that, non-standard actually could work very well in this. You have him max duped. Because it gives Jujutsu. So the ult's going to be a nuke. And then every wave. So if you're grinding every wave, that's an extra 200 ult gauge. So you're going to pretty much get the ult way easier if you're grinding in waves, for sure. Now, this one could also work, but I recommend using it on other units, and then having, if you're trying to go for that, you use this on other units, you use either non-standard or this one on himself, right? One of these two. But this one works because of the ult gauge fill rate increase, and then he also gives himself ult gauge when you attack, when target enemies are in the break status, or when self puts them in break status. So it's going to get your ult way quicker if you want to use this one, for sure. So that's another one. Now, besides that, you could use Jogo's. I would not recommend it, but you could if you really want the ult. Okay, then you get a damage increase if you're below a certain amount, 50% HP. So like you could, I guess, for sure. Now, I personally don't think you should use this one. I don't. 35% damage increase to self. It's just like you're better off using Jogo's, in my opinion, for the ult. Especially because this is on the ult, right? And you take damage. Now, sure, you get the ult gauge fill rate increase, but I don't know. It's a bit rough to me. It seems a bit rough to me, for sure. For sure. Now, if you're going for a nuking build for the ult, this one could also work for sure. But if not, this one, if I could find it, this one is going to give him 70% damage increase, right? So if you want to go for something like that with some crit rate to all allies, so including Gojo, that one could be nice. Now, the wiki also recommends this one, which is going to give him ult gauge of 260, and then when you limit break it, it's going to give 25% physical technique damage taken decrease, right? So it's a decent one. But I would say top 3 for me is non-standard, this one, and I like this one because of the damage increase, right? If not, like, I'd say the Jogo one or this one. Those are like the top 5 in total, okay? For sure. I'd say so. Now, obviously, you could use different ones. I think there's some SR ones that give Jujutsu or damage increase. Damage increase ones are usually better, I'd say, for him because he does both Taijutsu, which is physical, and Jujutsu, which is cursed. So keep that in mind for sure. Now, for teams, I already built all of them out, so we'll talk about them. Now, this one is my standard team, all right? And it's basically when Gojo leaves, you get Nobara in. Now, why do I say when Gojo leaves? Because you have Nanami and Yaga, who later on in the fight will be able to lower damage. Megumi lowers damage, right? Gojo doesn't take damage. Megumi doesn't take damage. So half your team doesn't take damage. So usually, well, Gojo's going to end up leaving and then Nobara is going to come in. So that's kind of the thought process behind it. And yeah, these are usually the best ones. Now, this one can be counterproductive because it gives the cursed energy. So keep that in mind. But I like it for the other units, mainly for the supports, right? Mainly for the supports. But it's not like a crazy bad thing, but for sure it can make you suffer 1000%. But I'd say this one is one that you would like if you could get it. That would be great. And then obviously Gojo has non-standard and she has the cursed energy one. So this is the first team that I'd say. Now the second team is this. This one is basically just do as much damage as you can with yellow units. Okay, if it's the yellow type advantage, then this one could work. Now, you could also put non-standard on him if you want to go for the ult, and then put the one I had before on, or put the damage increase, right, which is this one, right? So you could go, or put Jogo's even, hell. So there's a lot of different ways you could build the memories here. But I just put Inumaki in the back. You could put Gojo if you're doing, for example, domain investigation, for sure. Now, this one is basically Megumi's support more so, right? Now, when I put this Recollection, you could put this Recollection or non-standard or this one, right? I'm just putting that one because that's the one I use. But essentially, Megumi here is used more as a support, okay? That's basically how this is working. And then let's say Yaga dies, well, then Nanami is going to come in. Now, for this one, it's basically because of the Taijutsu. It's because of this that I even considered putting this team. If you guys want to try a funky team, well, hey, in his domain, Megumi is going to do single target, increase 60% physical technique damage. So you could try having fun with these two as he is a physical technique unit, right? So keep that in mind. But if it's a green bot, if you're fighting someone and you need green units, you could also put Nanami in this. Where's Nanami? The GOAT. So you could put Nanami instead, for sure. Now, this one is to rush ult. This one's to rush ult, and it will work. It will work because this guy, what does he do? he increases ult gauge by 124, okay? And you could use that multiple times. You could use it multiple times. So I'd say this one could work very well. If you want to use your ult very quick, it's going to work. And then you're going to get Gojo's ult quicker, and it's going to be a great situation, okay, for sure. I'd say this one is a very good team, and it's more on the free-to-play side, okay? 2 SSRs, and then you got a rare, so I mean, you're chilling there. Wow, that rhymed. Okay, so I'd say this one personally, like you could use it if you really want to use Megumi. Maybe as a DPS, you could put non-standard on Megumi, try that shit out, or you could use him as a support. Basically, rush his ult so that he could better support Gojo's ult in terms of nuking. Right, that's another way. Now, if you want to see actual gameplay, I think that's it. Yeah, you could just check out my 30-minute showcase to see a bit how he works. I showcased him, had fun with him, just tried some stuff, fucked around. So that's essentially it. I don't really got much more to say on Megumi. I just wanted to give you guys a quick video to kind of summarize his best rec bits, his best teams, and all that good stuff. So hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.